bit overcast today, but behind me you will just be able to make out Wellington Harbour, and beyond that the Cook Strait, and that's where this weekend's trip begins. Later on today we'll be crossing the Cook Strait to South Island to Picton, and then starting a little adventure which will involve walking a stretch of the Queen Charlotte track in the Marlborough Sounds. Why don't you join me and see the beauty of both North and South Island and the Cook Strait. Southerlies may have been described as light today, but it still feels the sort of day that you might lose your hat. It's a pretty chilly Friday evening in Picton, even though it's still summer. It's overcast and yeah, just a bit chilly today, but that crossing was pretty smooth in the end, nice and easy. We're off the ferry now and walking through the fairly quiet streets of Picton to the overnight accommodation, which is about 8 or 9 minutes away.
Oh, that's funny. Hey.
Motel. And so at the accommodation for the weekend, this is the Gateway Motel. Not really 10 minutes walk from the ferry, more like 2 or 3 minutes. Picton's very compact. Nice room, ground floor, looking out on the gardens there. Yeah, this will do nicely. Well, that's the end of day one. Relatively pain-free ferry crossing from Wellington to Picton. It's been a bit overcast and a little bit drizzly all day, so the views haven't been that spectacular, but the trip was a smooth one, and Picton looks a lovely place and well worth some further exploration, so we'll have a bit of a look around before the end of the weekend. But tomorrow the focus is on the Queen Charlotte track, an early start, and then the water taxi from Picton all the way to Ship Cove, and then the journey begins. So join me then, and we'll continue with our walk on the Queen Charlotte track. Day 2, a good night's sleep at the Gateway Motel. Quite a comfortable place to stay. Here we are on a quiet Saturday morning in Picton, and a fairly short walk to the quay and to the Cougar lines, where we're going to get the water taxi today to Ship Cove. It's a nice, calm, clear morning, a bit chilly. It looks like we're set for some good weather ahead, so just what we needed. Well, checking at the Cougar line was really easy and everyone was friendly. Lots of information shared about the trip. It's a good hour and a quarter from Picton to Ship Cove, and this is the perfect day to do it.
Just a quick stop at Bay of Many Coves, pick up one person, then to Motel and then Ship Cove. Hopefully from there I'll be any questions, feel free to ask.
So here we are at Ship Cove, the beginning of the Queen Charlotte track. It's just the most amazing place. And it's about 9:30 in the morning, and we set off on this stretch to Furneaux Lodge, maybe a stop at Resolution Bay. I'm sure this is going to be a terrific walk. So we're 5.5 k's in, and for the first 4.5 k it was up, but very steadily up, and no real problems. The path is about 2 meters wide in most places. It is shared by mountain bikers. I've only seen a couple of those so far, and it's pretty good underfoot. There's quite a lot of loose rocks and stones. You just have to be careful. But otherwise, the walk-in is pretty easy. Well, we're about 7.5 kilometres in now, and according to the sign I've just passed, Resolution Bay is about 20 minutes walk from here, with the promise of a small shop selling coffee and a few small goods. So let's explore that and see what it looks like. So we're 12 kilometres, just over 2.5 hours into the walk now. The coffee didn't emerge. The coffee shop was down in Endeavour Bay, which entailed a 2-kilometre detour from the main path, and the lure of caffeine wasn't quite strong enough to tempt me off the path for that deviation. So we carry on, and now attention turns to looking for somewhere suitable to stop for lunch. I think this spot will do quite nicely for lunch. Well, my GPS is showing 16.8 kilometres. It's often known to be wrong, but the path is now descending, and I can see some piers, a few boats ahead, so this looks quite promising. We'll see where this leads to now. And here we go off the path and into Furneaux Lodge, our destination for today. And this looks very busy and very popular today. What a place to end the walk at Furneaux Lodge. A nice cold pint outside in the sun and a beautiful setting, beautiful gardens, and right here in the middle of the Sounds. Fantastic. Well, here we are on day 3. A lovely night's sleep last night after that long walk. And today is the ferry back to Wellington. But before then, a chance to look around Picton. And although it's been the stepping off point for this weekend's trip, Picton's a pretty little town and there's got a lot to offer itself. So we're going to have a little look around before the ferry is due later this morning. Picton is home to the Edwin Fox, which is a tall ship built in 1853 and one of the last surviving examples. It was used to transport troops during the Crimean War and to bring convicts to Australia and immigrants to New Zealand. Now it's the centrepiece of the Maritime Museum here in Picton, and it's undergoing restoration, careful restoration I hope.